What's been your number one goal this game?
Honestly, just improving as an athlete overall. Like, being a kicker, everybody says you just kick the ball, but I think just getting more athletic, getting more straight to my leg. And obviously, you always want to get better consistency, accuracy, all that. So, yeah.
30 yards plus, a little bit of a struggle last season. How do you improve on that?
Honestly, just getting through the ball more, just going more downfield instead of just swinging through it, like swiping through it. So, just going downfield more.
You were around when Pisano and even Chittenden were here, so what'd you learn from those guys? Because maybe they have different personalities like you do.
Yeah, Jose was just very consistent. Like, he did the same thing every time, every kick. He never missed a kick, like really badly. He did the same thing every time by the same routine. And Chittenden, I mean, he went out there, he thought he was going to make every single kick. Like, he was just this confident guy. So it's complete polar opposite personalities. I mean, it was just great learning under both of those guys, since they're both All-Americans and all that. So.
You feel like you're in a position, kicking strong enough that you should be out there on kickoffs?
For sure, yeah. I mean, kickoffs is always one thing that I've kind of struggled with always, but I've been working on that, just getting all my balls a lot more further downfield. I feel like I've always struggled with the hang time, but, just getting through the ball was kind of same as field was, just getting more through downfields.
How's your confidence?
That's good. Matt and Tyson, they're very good specialists to have from the operation. So Tyson's a very good snapper. He was a 4-year starter at Eastern. Matt Choules, I mean, he's a very good holder. He's one of the best holders I've had. So yeah, very confident.
So what is happening? A new special teams coordinator. What does that mean for you? What have you seen from him?
I'm sorry?
What have you seen from Coach Singler just having a new special teams coordinator here? Just what does that mean for you?
Yeah, Coach Singler's great. I mean, he knows how to connect with all the guys. He's great at running meetings. He's just a great person overall. And on the other side, coaching, he knows his football. And he worked with the Raiders. He played football himself, so it is very good.
I don't think in the past the head coach got as involved as Mullen is this year. So, what's it like?
No, that's great. Everybody listens to Coach Mullen. He's a head coach, so it's great to have the head coach just really involved in the special teams. He runs the meetings with Coach Singler, so it's a great partnership between those two.
Was there a little more intensity with him around?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, Coach Mullen is honest every day. Those meetings, he really goes down to every detail. Goes through every player, says this is what you have to do. So I mean, he's good.
Last season, just last question for me. Last season, you guys made some pretty big plays. Just what do you think is going to be key for you guys to carry that success into this season?
I mean, just consistency. Keep doing what we're doing. I mean, there hasn't been a lot of changes. There's been some changes in coaching staff and all that, but we have a lot of returning players. So I feel like just continuing and building on what we had last year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you about, have you ever punted indoors? I know that you come from Australia.
Yep.
You redshirted at Kennesaw, but have you ever punted indoors?
No. The first time was over at the Raiders facility, which was definitely a pretty jaw-dropping experience. It's a big kind of aircraft. It blew my mind kicking in there, but no, I'm excited. When I watched a rugby game there earlier in the year at Allegiant, and it's beautiful. It'll be nice to spin some balls in there.
Do you have to adjust anything when you're punting indoors, or how does that work? Anything fundamentally?
Not necessarily. You're pretty lucky. You can rip on them in there because there's no wind, there's nothing there kind of messing with you. So, you're pretty lucky as a specialist to go in there and rip them because nothing affects it.
Has anything surprised you this camp about you as a special teams?
No, not necessarily. I think as a group, we kind of really tight-knit right from the get-go, and we've worked really, really hard as a group to get together, and there's great competition in all three positions. Just all the way through camp, we've just kind of gotten better and better, and hopefully we hit the ground running in these next few weeks going into Memphis.
Can you speak? Oh, go ahead.
How are you adjusting to Vegas?
It's different. So obviously I grew up in Australia in a place called Canberra, then went over to Kennesaw in Georgia. A bit more humid there than come here, and it's 110, 40 odd degrees Celsius. So pretty hot for me coming here, but no, unreal. Again, facilities here are incredible, and just a fantastic coaching staff with Mullen and Singler just keeping us on our toes and getting us ready.
When did you get into punting? When did that all kind of start for you? And when did you kind of realize that you could play at the college level?
So it's funny, Australia, we grew up playing Australian rules football, or a lot of you guys call it rugby, but it's Aussie rules. The main way we move that ball is by punting, which is a little bit weird. So kind of from the get-go, I've been punting my whole life, and then worked with an organisation over there who were just like, yeah, you can do it, you can rip a ball. and spent 2 years training with them, and then they kind of sent me over to Kennesaw and then redshirted there and then came here. So it's kind of been a longish journey as an Australian, but it's been awesome and it's really, really rewarding.
Why UNLV?
Why UNLV? It was just one of those things, jumping in the portal and seeing Jeremy Crawshaw, who'd gone over to the Broncos, and Tommy Townsend, who's in the NFL as well. Dan Mullen has that NFL pipeline. He's created NFL punters, and there's not many head coaches that are as hands-on as he is about punt. Like, he says punt's the most important part of the game. And so he stands back there with us, and he definitely gets in our head a little bit and put a bit of pressure on us, but it's awesome. Like, it's him. Like, he's the reason, as a specialist, you want to come here, because he knows what he's talking about, and he just puts us in the best positions possible to perform.
What does your family say when you're told you come in Vegas to play?
My parents are pretty stoked. So my parents, funnily enough, in the 80s, they did the Elvis wedding here. So they'd been over here and had their fun here. So they kind of told me, you know, keep my nose out of trouble and behave now that I'm here. But stoked. They were really, really happy for me. Yeah.
Take us through the process of how you wound up here.
Yeah, of course. So it's weird. So I was playing Aussie rules in Australia, just playing footy. And kind of got sick of it. I put on a little bit too much weight of muscle of all things, and they kind of said, you know, you're not fit enough, you're not moving well enough, but I can still kick a ball. And just met one of my buddies who's over at Prairie View A&M in Texas, and he was like, yeah, you can do it, come try out. Went and worked with the guys, over at ProKick, worked with them for 2 years. And, you know, it's funny, like, you get a scholarship off of just videos of you kicking on a field, which is pretty red hot. It bothers some of the guys that it's just from, kicking down at a rugby pitch. But no, literally just from videos, send them over to coaches, and you get bites, and eventually you get an offer here and there. And went over to Kennesaw, enjoyed it there. And then at the end of the year, I kind of said, I need to get out of there. And spoke to my guys at ProKick, and they said, we'll see what we can do. And away I went, ended up here,
So did you have a relationship with Cam Brown?
Yeah.
And what is that like, and do you stay in touch with him?
Yeah, he's awesome. I was kicking with him about a month ago over in Michigan, in Ann Arbor. But he's awesome. He's a legend, and he did a really good job here last year. Really, really hard worker, and just his work ethic's kind of rubbed off on me going out there. And he did a great job setting up a little bit of Australian love around here, so hopefully I can keep that going.
So you mentioned kicking. You mentioned kicking in Michigan. Is there a punter kicker community here in Vegas?
In Vegas, not so much. I've gotten really lucky that I've kind of cultivated a bit of a relationship with AJ Cole over at the Raiders. And so he's kind of my guy here, just reaching out to him for advice. In Vegas, he's been unreal. Kicking with him's awesome. You see a true professional at work. As of guys, like, other than that around here, there's not a lot, but the Australian connection is insane. So I could go to any state kind of and work with any of the guys at any of these schools, and it really just puts you in a good position going forward into this season.
With Cole, you've actually kicked with him?
Yeah.
So what's it like standing next to or watching an NFL? Can you tell the difference with a punter in the NFL?
Definitely. Like, I like to think that, we've all got similar legs. Everyone can kick a big ball, but the most impressive thing about a guy like him and these NFL guys is their hands. Their hands are so robotic and electrical. It's, for me, you kind of nerd out watching it. They're just the same thing every single time. And, you might hit a great ball and then hit kind of a shaky on the next one. He'll just hit that great ball over and over and over again. And it's really inspiring, really good to watch. But, it's just that consistent routine of every single muscle and every single step's in the exact same spot.
You haven't punted, right, in a college football game yet. You redshirted last year. So can you speak just the mentality, the goals that you have for yourself this season?
Yeah, you bet. It was really hard last year not being able to play. I was in a little bit of a sticky situation with academics coming out of Australia. And so I was really, every game I was kind of hoping that, I'd get cleared by the NCAA. And so there's just been this constant build. And now that it's coming up, we got 12 days. I'm not that I'm counting down, I'm looking forward to it a lot. It's just going to be almost like a weight off my shoulders. I've worked for this for a very long time, and getting out there and hitting that first ball is just I think it's just going to give me that power to just keep going and get higher and higher. And I do hope to end up on a freshman list somewhere as a specialist, and just kind of go from there.
What inspired you to become a punter?
Funnily enough, a guy called Daniel Cherney, who years ago punted over at Nebraska, and I met him, worked with him a little bit, and then my buddy at Prairie View, and they both kind of said, just go out, go train with these guys in Melbourne and go do it. And I trusted them, trusted their advice, and 3 years later, here I am. So, stoked.
Good.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
I want to verify about parents from there.
We all doing good today?
Yeah. I'm moving back a few steps.
Too? Hey, Coach. Can you...
Scoot up, Coach. Yeah.
Actually, can you
sorry,
guys
sorry,
zoom in if
you're
you don't mind?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, you're good. Oh, okay.
You good to hold it?
No, I can hold it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Got it all? All right,
Sorry.
we're ready to go.
Sorry.
Yeah. Hi, Coach. wanted to ask you about the collaboration between you and Coach Mullen on special teams.
Yeah. No, it's been great. Obviously, he's been in this a long time, and one thing that's really cool about Coach Mullen is he's just not an offensive-minded guy. He knows the game inside and out in all phases. So to be able to collaborate with him, to know the ins and outs of not only offense but special teams and defense, and to learn from a great coach like that, it's been really fun to kind of sit there, pick his brain, and for myself and my growth, it's been really, really fun to be able to learn from a great coach like him.
When you look back on last season, I guess what's one thing you would name that you kind of want to carry on into this season, and maybe something maybe you want to change?
Just the overall consistent level of our relentless effort to go pursue the ball and make sure that we play great offense and defense, so we can really ensure that when the offense takes the field, we leave the field better than when we found it. Same with defense. So that's probably one thing that can probably answer both of that, is that we just ensure that at the end of the day, we give the longest field position for our defense to go defend, and then the shortest amount of field position for our offense to go out and go score points. So probably those two things, because I really think that we give great effort. I really think that we're really locked in and detailed in what we do, but it's just really making sure that at the end of the day, our specialists do their jobs and their part to obviously just play great offense and defense.
A lot of people have talked about Jet at the next level.
For sure.
And he'll have, special teams is such a key.
Yes, sir.
Can you talk to him about can you talk to us about him as a returner and what you see in him there?
No, for sure. It's not only just him, but it's everybody in our program. I was fortunate enough to work 3 years in the NFL, and I understand that if you really want to make the team and you're not a bona fide one, that you have to really perform and do well on special teams. And I've been really harping not only on Jet, but just everybody, to make sure that, hey, their dreams and their aspiration is to get to the NFL. Well, then you got to make sure that you take 1 to 41 starting other spots on the special teams and really ensure that you are giving it your all on teams. But to Jet, you guys know he's an electric offensive player, so why not utilize him in all things special teams wise, so he grows his wealth of knowledge on special teams, and then it gives him film and for scouts and everyone to look at this dude's dynamic, not only as a runner, but he can return the ball, and he can really do things like holding up and everything like that. He's a well-rounded player. So it's just not him, it's everyone in our program understanding that if you really want to get to the NFL, then there's 41 guaranteed starting spots on special teams. Go and make a name for yourself.
Coach, can you elaborate a little bit more on the pipeline you have with Australia and what it does for a program like UNLV?
Yeah, really great guys. ProKick and what they do, they're really, really solid people, and at the end of the day, they produce great punters. Obviously, it started with Coach Mullen when he was at Florida, and he's had a good pipeline of that, and obviously it's carried over to not only just where he's been, but you can notice it now in the NFL and other college programs that, these kids have special talent. They have special legs, and they've been doing it at a young age. And for us as special teams coordinators, these kids can do multiple different styles of kicks. And that makes it very unique for us, because it does things schematically that helps us do things differently maybe than other teams. So to have a great relationship with them, obviously it's a great thing, but you see it across the country that it's really starting to take place everywhere else.
Thank you. What was the process of locating this punter as a transfer?
It's just, I think it's just based off all the relationships. At the end of the day, it's our job to make sure that we kind of know all the ins and outs of the people that train kids. And specialists, they go to certain trainers and certain people. And so it's just our job to make sure that we know those people, we have great relationships with them, and it just honestly starts there. So when you look at a certain situation, it's okay, how do you find your punter? Or what's the next step in trying to find a punter? Okay, let me go to my people that I trust, that I know, and I can communicate with, that I talk on the regular, just like my friends. And at the end of the day, you got to do your job as a coach and eval the person, eval the player, and you go from there.
All right, same question about the long snapper.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother group.
No, as a high school athlete, I was recruited by Eastern Washington. So I already knew Coach Best. And just based off that relationship alone, and then you go look at certain things that when certain lists come out and kids are in the portal, it's okay, all right, you go look at their experience, go look at certain things like that. It's okay, who can I talk to? Who I really rely on? And at the end of the day, we're all people, and you rely on the people that you trust and have good relationships with. And at the end of the day, it was just one of those things that I was like, oh, well, there's one guy right there that I know, and he recruited me. And honestly, I trust their eval and I trust what he says. And then you go look at the tape, like I said in the last one. You have to do your process and do your eval of the kid to see if he fits what you want to do and fits the program. So at the end of the day, that's what kind of led to that.
I remember last year, Camp Brown, Coach Mullen had said that he sent out an email to those folks and asked them to send 5 punters.
Yep.
So is that what happened, the same process this year?
Yeah, essentially. At the end of the day, it might not be a phone, it might not be an email, it might be a phone call. Whatever the process is, like, you just get it, like, you form the list. And then, like I said, my experience in the NFL has always taught me you have to be thorough in your evals. And it's my job to make sure I watch every kick that they do, whether it's training, whether it's in a game, whatever it is. It's my job to make sure I know the guy inside and out, what he does best. And so whenever something like that happens, it's like, okay, did you do your homework? And did you really be thorough about what you've done?
Coach, talking about kickoff and punt returns, just how do you go about teaching the fundamentals to try and limit those penalties that may negate those big yardage plays?
Yeah, at the end of the day, we always stress to our guys that there's always don'ts, and don'ts is obviously penalties. And what we do is just, you have to be technically and fundamentally sound in your technique and fundamentals. At the end of the day, you guys have seen our practice. We do that on the regular. We make sure our guys are detailed. We go through different circuits, different blocking schemes, different types of things that get our players ready for game day, so they know how to execute our technique and they know what to do when that time comes. So at the end of the day, we just got to make sure that we drill it, we rep it, and we coach it on film. And at the end of the day, we make sure that they want to play hard. But sometimes penalties might happen, but it's our job to make sure that they get the fundamentals down, they see it, they rep it, and all that sort of stuff. So sometimes you can't control it because they're playing hard, and that's what I like, but they also have to be smart about it too.
Back to your comment about your recruitment.
Yes, sir.
You were recruited for football or basketball?
Football.
Okay.
And honestly, I was recruited a little bit of basketball. Obviously, you guys know my history of Kyle Singler and EJ. There's a lot of good basketball blood in my family. My dad played football, my uncle played football, so there's a good athletic gene in my family. So I was fortunate enough to kind of get recruited by both. But I went to Oregon State to play football, and then some schools kind of wanted me to play basketball. So luckily, I was kind of a unique little athlete growing up.
What's the next step for Villela?
You know, it's just, I think it goes to the rest of the specialist room. It's that consistent approach of when our time is asked of us to go make a kick, that it's on a consistent level of making and execute that kick. He went 15-20 last year. And the goal is to be, at the end of the day, be 20-20, but we know that's not going to happen. But it's just that consistent approach of, all right, every time I go, how's my operation? How's my kick? Is it really coming off my foot the right way that I want it? Am my hips square through contact? It's all those little fine details that go in the process of a kick. And for me, it's just stressing to him, whether it's right hash, left hash, middle. At the end of the day, we got to go execute the kick. So for him, it's a consistent level of executing each kick.
What would it take for you and Mullen to have enough confidence in a true freshman like Peyton Zachary to put him out there on punt returns? Or are you there already?
Confident, man. At the end of the day, we get a lot of reps in practice, so we get to see what they do, and it doesn't matter who you are. At the end of the day, we know the guys that can play, and they're going to play. And that's a really cool thing about the 5-for-5 thing that's going on, is we're not afraid to go play players. So at the end of the day, it's my job and Coach Mullen's job to make sure that we put the best 11 out there. And if in that case, if it's Peyton, it's Peyton. If it's Jed, it's Jed. If it's D'Lo, it's D'Lo. So at the end of the day, we got to make sure that we put the best 11 out there for UNLV football and our team.
You want to get more out of punt returns than you did last year? It seemed like last year there wasn't a ton of big returns.
No, 100%.
More about taking care of the ball.
100%. At the end of the day, the goal is always to get 2 first downs, ensure the kick, and then go get +10. So anything after that, we got to make sure that we always get 2 first downs for our offense. And like I said, at the end of the day, we got to make sure we play great offense, and that's just complementary, blending all the phases that we leave the field better than we found it. So yes, 100% we do.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.